Hey guys, how's it going? Long time no see. Just checking in with you. It is a hot day here in St. Louis. I've got a shot a baseball game last night, got a game tonight, and a game tomorrow during the day. Thankfully, we're not playing during the day today because it is going to be hotter than Satan's ball sack outside. I was thinking about cutting grass, but decided screw it. I'm gonna come inside and just soak up the AC, and thought maybe no better time than to make a video or two. So let's jump right into it. As some of you guys may have seen last week or a few days ago, Brother George, the Elvis Vinyl Guy, posted an update video of his trip here to St. Louis. We had a little VC meetup of sorts. There were four of us. Thankfully, they decided to include me, even though I've been just terribly lacking in participation in the VC here over the last 6 months. It's just this is my busiest time of the year, and I just haven't had time to do it. I know you guys all understand that. So, but they did give me a call. Brandon and George reached out and let me know that this was going to be happening. Thankfully, I was able to squeeze it into the schedule. That day, we had actually had my son's freshman orientation for college, so we were like 2.5 hours away. We went up early in the morning and took care of all that, and then scooted back here. My wife went off with a couple of her friends and hung out for the evening, and then that opened up the door for me to head out and see these guys. So it was great. So first thing, like I said, I wanted to thank Brandon and George and Memphis Vinyl Gym and the missus, April. It was great meeting you guys. Of course, I have known Brandon for a while, but meeting George and Jim and April was great. So first we ended up, I guess it was early in the evening. Jim and the missus were still on their way here, I believe. So they were still traveling. So we stopped at one of my favorite stores, Euclid Records, and I ended up meeting up with Brandon and George for the first time. And of course, Brandon is a monster. He's like 7 foot tall, and George is a big dude himself. And I'm like, I feel like a midget with you guys. And of course, you will see in the picture that I put in here in a little bit whenever we met at Vintage Vinyl when all of us got together. I'm glad we were able to get a picture, so you'll see all of us there. Of course, the missus, who is always behind the camera, rightfully so, she was behind the camera here as well, so she took the picture. Thank you very much for that, and thank you, George, for sharing the picture with me so we could share it with everybody. So let's jump right in. So at Euclid Records, picked up a couple things. Little Ace Frehley second sighting. I told Brandon that I'm going to have to start taking him with me anytime I go to a record store, because I will end up having all of Frehley's Comet or Ace Frehley's stuff before you know it. I mean, in no time at all, because last time we went digging, I ended up walking away with I think it was the first one, the first Frehley's Comet record. So now I think all I'm lacking is, I have the live one. I think all I'm lacking is Trouble Walking. So there you go. Picked up that real nice copy of that. Then for you country guys out there and girls, Hank Williams Jr., Born to Boogie. This is one that I had a copy of, traded it away. That'll come later in an 8-track update. I traded a couple pretty nice extras, duplicate LPs that I had for some pretty rare 8-tracks. And the guy happened to be a Hank Jr. fan, and he didn't have Born to Boogie and one other one, Maverick or Lone Wolf or something. So, it was America, the way I see it. So anyway, we made a trade, so I had to replace this one. Still got the hype sticker on it. This is actually a better copy than the one that I ended up getting rid of, just because it's got the hype and the original price on the shrink. So that was nice to pick up. And then funny, Mitch Wood and I talking all the time, and like literally, I think it was the night before or 2 nights before I went out and met these guys. I was asking him if he had a copy of the Colt Electric. That I'd been looking for a copy, a nice copy for a while, and he had a copy, but we were actually going back and forth, comparing things on Discogs and eBay, and seeing how hard good copies are to find here in the States. And then wouldn't you know it, I ended up finding a very nice copy at Euclid Records for a decent price, like $17. My only gripe with Euclid Records is, as you can see, price tag right there, and it's on the jacket itself. I mean, come on. I mean, we've been doing this for what, 50 years, and we still can't find any less destructive way than putting price tags right on the jacket themselves. I know, yes, I've got things that'll take that off. I mean, I have my own little way of taking those off, but still. Let's figure out a different way of pricing things. And what's crazy is, so we have the price on the jacket, sticker on the jacket, and it's one of those sticky stickers. I mean, that son of a bitch isn't coming off for nothing. And then, of course, they have the sleeve, and I get it that people can take these sleeves and swap them out, but I mean, they actually have the barcode and everything right here. So it's like, really? Come on. Just frustration. But happy to have this great album in the collection. There we go. I'm rambling, so it's going to take forever. And then I had one other thing in my hand. I had the Rob Zombie Hellbilly Deluxe reissue. And I've been wanting to get that forever. Talked with George and Brandon about it. Had it in my hand. I know they both have it and love it. And I had it in my hand until I got up to the register. I looked over to the left of the register, and they had everything that was new that was released that week. And of course, earlier that day, Vinny had passed away. Vinny Paul of Pantera, and this was just released that week. So last week, it's a live concert from 1998. I mean, they were the height of their career. Drugs had probably taken its toll with Phil by that point, but it's still a very awesome live show, and I had to have it. The set list is phenomenal. So I put back Rob Zombie. He took one for the team. Put back Rob Zombie and ended up taking Pantera. So that was it from Euclid Records. We ended up heading over to meet Memphis Jim and the Misses at Memphis Vinyl Jim and the Misses at Sweetie Pies. It's a soul food, comfort food type establishment in St. Louis on Del Mar. Had a good conversation there, good dinner. It was great company, good time. And then from there, we went from one end of Del Mar down to the other and stopped by Vintage Vinyl, which is not one of my favorite stores. However, Memphis Vinyl Jim and the Misses wanted to see it. And it definitely is one of those destination type shops in St. Louis. It's been here forever. It's a landmark and a cornerstone of the vinyl community. So, I dog it a lot, but, I've got my reasons for that. But, primarily because the good stuff never really hits the floor. It gets sold online before it comes. It never comes out on the floor. Let's put it that way. So I wanted to walk away from there with something, and as you see in the video, which I will show, or the photo of us, Brandon, Jim, myself, and George. I'll put it in right now so you guys can see that. So as you guys saw from the photo, it was a great time. 4 smiling dudes. We had a good time, and what I had in my hand there was Bruno Mars 24 Karat Magic. This is one of those records that one of those artists anyway that I keep saying that I want. Let me take it out of this sleeve that I want to get more of. So he has like the 3 records, and George has all of those. So we got talking. I really liked this because it's a little bit more progressive, more forward, more funky. But I will definitely be digging in to more of Bruno Mars stuff. I just think he's stupidly talented dude, just unbelievably talented, and I really, it's one of those things you can kind of put on and just do your thing, and it's feel good type music. So from there, I mean, we hung out there till closing time. I mean, they literally kicked us out. We got the attention Walmart shoppers. The store will be closing in 5 minutes. Get your stuff and head up to the front. We actually got that warning. And I believe Brandon even stayed in there later than any of us. So we were outside waiting on Brandon, and we exchanged some things. It had been a long day for not only George and Jim and the missus, but myself and Brandon as well. So at the end of that night, a really long day into a long night, we exchanged some things. Jim and the missus had brought a couple things. I had a couple things for them, and Brandon and George. But what they had brought for me, special direct from Memphis, some Jerry Lee. They knew I love some Jerry Lee, and I did not have this. This has got just some really great stuff on there. Can't wait to spin that. Haven't spun any of these, honestly. It's just it was a crazy week. And then this was cool. Still Rock. It looks like a white label promo. There you go. And Jim said that this is, from what Jim says, one of the first country rock groups. So I can't wait to hear this and give it a spin. So obviously Jim knows my taste very well with the Jerry Lee and some country rock, and I greatly appreciate that, guys. It was a pleasure meeting you. Hope to do it again. Maybe I'll get down that way, and we can hang with you. Moving forward, after that, Brother George, Elvis Vinyl Guy, had sent me a package. So I need to start out with this. I'd be remiss if I did not start with this. So a handful of weeks ago, it's been that crazy and it's been that long ago, and I sincerely apologize for not getting around to this. But George had sent me a package in the mail, some VCLT, and I just have not got around to showing it. But Cinderella's Long Cold Winter. There, we got a little glare on there. It's just one of those things. I think it looks better there, but yeah, Cinderella's Long Cold Winter. This is a beautiful copy. A gold stamp promo. Just great, all around great record. This is one I've been needing for a long time, especially with the hype sticker in such great condition. I've been holding out. Thank you so much for this, George. In addition to that, he was very kind enough to send me this CD of a band that he thinks highly of. So I am definitely going to give this a spin. Rusty Ship. It's actually a signed copy, which is awesome. I'm just getting ready to install. I just ordered a new head unit. My CD player was out in my truck, and that's really about the only time I have a chance to listen to CDs, as a lot of you guys do, I've noticed. You listen to your CDs on the drive back and forth to work, and that's what I'm going to do. So as soon as I get that installed next week, I'm going to give this baby a spin, and can't wait. Thank you again, George, for that. He had sent those things to me a few weeks back. It's probably been a couple months back, actually, but thank you for that. But he also had more stuff that he had ended up bringing, and it's very cool as well. So we have Tall Tales and Short Tempers from Jim Reeves. This is really cool. I love Jim Reeves. And I think he knows that, so that was cool. It's a super clean copy. He had given me that, as well as a sealed copy. This is so awesome. A sealed copy of the best of Jim Reeves on 8-track. So George knows me all too well. I greatly appreciate this. This is I have this record probably 5 times over. I don't know why I need 5 copies, but I'm always looking for that perfect copy. You know, when we Frankenstein a cover with a you know, an inner sleeve or a record. But what a great record, and a killer 8-track. Thank you so much. The sealed copy. It's probably going to remain sealed just for collectability's sake. But thank you for that. And then sticking with 8 tracks. Check it out, a sealed copy of Peter Criss solo. I did not have this. I don't have this at all, not even in an unsealed. But this is, to have a sealed copy of this is awesome. I'm going to leave this one sealed, George, just because it is my least favorite of the Kiss solo albums. I won't listen to it. I'm just going to keep it. And Kiss collectors are crazy, you know that. And this is a beautiful, beautiful copy. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to keep that sealed as well. Sometimes I don't keep my sealed stuff sealed, especially with 8 tracks. If they're nice, playable things, you know, I open them up, replace the pad, replace the splice, check the pinch roller, and other than that, put them back together and they're good to go and last. They last forever. So last thing here, remember when I told you we were at Euclid Records and I had carried around Rob Zombie and put it back for the Pantera? Well, George apparently saw that and didn't like it and surprised me with Rob Zombie Hellbilly Deluxe. That's the kind of dude George is. I was floored. Thank you so much for that, George. It means a lot. I'm so glad. You did not have to do that, brother, but that's just the kind of dude you are, and I greatly appreciate that. I can't wait to give this guy a spin. You know, like I said, I've had this on CD back in the day, and now to finally have it on vinyl is killer. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you, huge thank you to Brandon, George, Memphis Vinyl Jim, and the missus. It was so great meeting you, Jim and April. Like I said, I can't wait to get down there, maybe make a trip and see you guys, see things from your perspective. Take me out to a couple stores. We'll grab some authentic Memphis barbecue or something. But I am going down in 3 weeks, I think, to see. The wife and I are taking the kids to Nashville for a trip, so I am going to plan on seeing George, and possibly I'd love to even see Chris Hansen, if at all possible. I would love to make that happen. So I'll reach out to you, Chris, on Facebook and let you know the dates that I'm going to be there and be available, and hopefully we can make that work. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being patient and hanging in there with me when I don't make a video in forever. I'm still alive. I'm still doing well. Just been busy with life and work and all these other things, just as I'm sure a lot of you are as well. So there will be more updates coming, I promise, because I'm off after what the Cardinals. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then they're off for like 11 days. So I won't know what to do with myself. Everything's caught up work-wise here. I'll do a couple things around the house, and maybe I'll get around to making some videos and finally get those long overdue 8-track updates and cassette updates and what I've been finding. I've got some killer stuff to show you guys, so thank you so much. As always, thanks for tuning in. Take care. Peace.